Hey guys, on this episode of MC2MC, we talk about the legacy and the unfortunate passing of Sophie. We also go into why this guy has some hot takes on Blonde and 808s and Heartbreaks. Tune in for that, guys, if y'all want to see what's popping. Check it. What's going on, peoples? Welcome back to another episode of MC2MC. I'm your dude Superb.
I'm OHTOM.
Yeah. So breaking news today. I'm gonna let you kind of take it away.
Yeah. So we lost a legend, an icon, a trendsetter, Sophie. She apparently passed away. She went on a roof to look at the full moon apparently and slipped and fell and she is no longer with us. But
interesting.
Yeah, it's very sad to say the least. I was actually listening to the Pearl album on the way here. I've been a pretty big Sophie fan since she started releasing singles a few years ago. I thought it was definitely gonna change the way pop was, and I think she definitely did.
So I'm just curious. I don't know a bunch about Sophie other than what you guys tell me. Yeah. So I just want you to kind of explain the importance of why you feel that her music, or his or her, her music is important to the culture.
Dude, it's like, for one, no one was making stuff that sounded like her, at all. Not even close. There's some stuff that was glitchy or whatever, but
that Pony track, isn't it called Pony?
Pony Boy.
Pony Boy, yeah, that one's pretty interesting.
Boy.
Yeah, that shit's
it's insane. It's insane. Even the singles she had before that album, they sound 20 years ahead of everything else that was coming out at the time, and it still does. I don't think anything's even lived up to that yet. I mean, but yeah, that album alone is that will sound modern literally 10, 20 years from now. Me and Dave were talking when I got here that just she creates those worlds. You can just feel that you're in somewhere. And I was on the way here, I was listening to it and I was just
I mean, the mixing is pretty solid.
The mixing is insane. The production's insane. I think her production, she's all over different projects. I mean, she has a track with Vince Staples. She worked with Charlie XCX. Worked with a ton of people. Madonna.
Interesting.
For sure, that is the way pop was going after that came out, and it still is. And I think the saddest part about it all is that she's not going to be able to see that.
So,
impact.
Do you feel like the album's called Pearl, right?
It's called not Pearl. It has Pearl in it. I always forget the full name just because it's so weird. But it's Oil of Every Pearl's Insides.
Interesting. Yeah. We'll have Terrence put a thumbnail of that up, guys. So do you feel like that album is once again, this is coming from a perspective guy who hasn't listened yet. So I'm just trying to figure out, do you feel like that specific album is, say 10 years from now, it'll go down as maybe a cult classic or something like that?
I think it'll go down as a pop pioneer album.
So bigger than a cult classic.
Yeah, no, I think it's in the top 5 most influential albums of the 2010s for sure.
Along with what other 4?
I'd have to think about that, but I know it's in that top 5 for sure because it changed the way things sound.
Did it come out in the 2010s?
Yeah, I think it came out in 2017.
2017, interesting.
It came out in 2017, and it doesn't sound like that at all. I almost forgot it came out that long ago just because of how, today it sounds.
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Charlie XCX is going to carry on that legacy a little bit, but
A.G. Cook, Sophie and A.G. Cook were the pioneers of that.
And the PC music.
Interesting.
Yeah, so apparently she was in that PC music scene with a bunch of different artists, but yeah, it's very sad.
So what does this mean, like in the context of like music? Because I know when Dave was telling me about the death yesterday, I kind of thought about like Lil Peep.
Yeah.
Like, because when he died, it was, what was it, like 2016, 17?
Something like that, yeah.
But I feel like he was like a big predecessor for like a lot of like the quote unquote like emo rap or that kind of stuff. Like predecessor to like the Juice WRLDs and like Trippie Redds and shit.
I think it's not like Lil Peep's amazing. Lil Peep is his influences. But he was also heavily influenced just by stuff that came before him. So really he was just sounding like stuff that came before him. Sophie sounds like nothing else that came before her. So like
interesting.
I'd say X, like his legacy, that kind of like how he like not pioneered, but like he made like that distorted bass, that crazy like scream hip hop stuff kind of like big, and even like the lo-fi stuff, like I think he brought that to the forefront a lot, the lo-fi like hip hop stuff. So I mean,
I feel like X was like a fan of Yeezus.
Oh yeah, X probably loved Yeezus and 808s probably. I mean, I think I've heard him talk about 808s before. I don't know,
because that kind of like predates that whole distorted sound. And now actually thinking about it, probably Sophie fucked with Yeezus too.
Oh,
based on a couple of those tracks I did hear, because it kind of sounds like industrial music.
Oh yeah,
to a bit.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna have to listen. We're gonna have to listen to that later, just because like she does the bangers on the album are bangers for sure, like Face Shopping and Pony Boy. But there's also other songs that are just like, just soundscapes, like just like so much texture and layering and vocal layering, like it's crazy. I mean, I don't think anything will sound that good for a long time. I mean, there's a lot of people doing the hyperpop stuff now, but it's still kind of underground compared to what like her sounds. It sounds like she was already on her like 5th studio album, on her first one. Like that's the only way I can describe it. Like it sounds like she was 20 years into her career already.
I wonder how long it took her to make that album.
I have no clue. I mean, the singles that she had leading up to that, like Lemonade and the MS whatever and Hard, those are like pretty insane. But just like the vocal range that she brought on the album, because there's like some vocals in them, but the vocals not at the forefront of those early singles. It's more about just how hard the beats are. But like the vocals are very up front on that album, and the opening track is like just beautiful. I mean, it's just like incredible. So
interesting.
It's
what's the first song of hers that you heard? Like, how do you?
The first song I heard from her was it's called like MS or something like that.
That's a weird ass name.
Yeah. And all her early cover art I love too. That's another thing. Like, it's not just like the music part that's dope about her. It's like her art, her cover art, her videos, like everything about it is just like so new age, so like in the future that it's not even
here.
Yeah, like it literally sounds like someone dropped her off from like 2040. Like it sounds like stuff that should be playing in movies 40 years from now. Like, yeah, it's the first one I heard from her was
And that was
2015. Yeah.
So you listened to that back in 2015.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2015. Yeah, I think I heard about it on one of the track review of the week things on Fantano, and went and listened to it, and it's just like crazy. Like it like blew my mind when I first heard it, and yeah, and I listened to every single after that. I remember telling my buddy Zach. He texted me actually when she died. Like I got like 5 texts. It was like, but yeah, I told him, I was like, I think this stuff is gonna like change pop music forever. Like this stuff sounds so not like anything else. Like anything close. But yeah, it's very sad. I think the saddest thing is just she won't be able to see the impact that she has. But
it's kind of always like that for the pioneers and stuff, though, man.
Yeah.
Whether you're living or not, I'm just kind of. You don't get that credit most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
very
get
true.
my credit for some shit I pioneered, though. I ain't that type of nigga, you know what I'm saying? I want my credit, because if anybody else get my credit, that mean they making profit off my shit.
Yeah, I mean, and
I
the
ain't
thing
tolerating
is
that.
like...
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
The thing is, like, I think she's definitely going to get her credit, and I think there will be documentaries and endless articles about how she is, like, the pioneer of everything that's going to come.
She had a project in 2015 called Product. It was an 8-song album.
Yeah, she did have that, like, little EP thing. Yeah. Product, yeah. I think a lot of the singles that I was talking about were on that. It was like a compilation. But,
it was like the birth of, the
yeah.
drum bass and the hyper.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
it's
counterculture forming around that time.
it's yeah, it's very sad, but hey, I mean,
Sophie's still here in spirit, guys.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, her music's gonna live on for a long time, and I mean, I'm sure she has unreleased stuff too that she was working on. So it's gonna be very interesting to hear all that. But yeah,
I want to bring up another honorable mention. We've been listening to this shit the past couple days.
Oh, yeah.
My homie Colton.
Yeah.
He's been in town, guys. And he showed me this artist he showed me a couple years ago named Impossible Nothing, but he just recently showed them again. That fucking that Phenomenomicon album we've been listening to.
yeah,
Shit's amazing.
yeah, it's like insane.
It's like progressive hip hop, like you say. Each track it's alphabetical every time, so it's A to Z every album, and each track is 10 minutes long. So every album is like 4 hours long. So it's like, it's interesting. What was that? Was it Track K? Track K with the Metroid sample? The way he produces this guy is like, it's hip hop as fuck, because it's like, if you know hip hop, if you know like rap music, you're gonna appreciate this dude's instrumentals right away, because he's just like a fucking like phenomenal sample chopper.
Yeah, I mean, the way it feels like the samples are just like melting out of something. Like I haven't really heard much like it. It's very
I think your
interesting.
reference you said earlier with the switching through radios channels.
Yeah.
It sounds like switching through radio channels.
Yeah.
But like,
with like a beat behind it.
Yeah,
and it makes so much sense. Like, it just feels right.
He's playing fucking like, he's composing, because you said he was a composer, right, originally? So he's a composer taking hip-hop samples and composing actual arrangements and songs out of the samples. Like playing like actual melodies and shit with the samples, as compared to like doing like an 8-bar cut, or like a 4-bar cut. He's like pitching the sample up multiple like different versions of the sample to create almost like,
and the beats
just
like
kind of
build on each other and build on each other and build like they're.
Anthony Fantano had the same reaction that I did. Maybe we could get a video clip of him losing his shit in here like I was, but shouts out Fantano. You get where I'm coming from, bro. You get where I'm coming from.
Every beat just like and it gives you like that stank face in a way that most other beats don't.
It's a consistent stank face though.
Yeah. And I think mostly like people who are like super into music or whatever, and like mostly producers, I think are people who are really gonna mess with it, because like you can only really respect it if you know how hard that would be to make. Like, I can't even imagine how impossible that would be to do. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah, man, it sounds like, no offense, it sounds like shitty, but like in a good way. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense in that way.
Yeah, it's very noisy. It's very it's very interesting. I haven't really heard much like it.
I do want to move into.
I'd love to hear people rap over it too. That'd be.
Last week there are some things we didn't actually get to talk about that I want to finish up on this episode. I know we had our top albums.
Yeah.
Do you still have that list with you?
Yeah.
Pull that up, man. I want to go into that. How you want to do it, bro? You drop. How many you want to drop, bro? What you want
I mean,
give me a good number, Tom.
I have like 100 here.
I see, bro. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I got 40.
Okay.
And I don't even want to do all 40.
What's your top like 5?
All right, my top 5. All right, so we got this is not in any order, by the way, guys. This top 5 is not even in order. So, but what happens to be in the top 5? We got Kanye West, Yeezus, Yes, Fragile, Mitsubishi Trip, Yes, Relayer, and then Yes, Close to the Edge. That's not the exact order, but
a lot of Yes.
Yeah, I love Yes.
Yeah.
I stay true to what I say, homie.
Yeah.
Like I rep Yes. You know what I'm saying? I do what I say what I do, man. You know.
Yeah.
I actually want to name 5 more. Actually, I feel.
Yeah,
like.
Go ahead.
Let me go down there. The Pretty Things, Parachute, Mitsubishi Drop. We got.
Is that like electronic music?
Yeah, he's kind of like he's like a drum and bass producer.
Yeah.
Out of the UK. I came across him back in. This might have been like 20. This had to have been like probably like 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Whole interesting ordeal with him and his label situation. He was signed to Hospital Records in the UK, which is like a drum and bass label.
Okay.
But they actually let him go because apparently at his shows when he was DJing on the sets and shit on tour, he was using preset mixes in the CDJs instead of like mixing real time.
Okay.
So they decided to fire him for that. I thought that was pretty gay. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Why I gotta know how to DJ, bro, to like be cool. You know what I'm saying? Thought it was kind of.
Yeah, that is weird.
Shouts out Mitsubishi, man. You know what I'm saying? You out there in the UK, bro, holding it down. I would love to get you on an album camp or some shit one day. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you some flowers, bro.
How old? Do you know how old he is now? Or because that music was like from the mid 2000s, right?
Nah, not mid 2000s, like 2010s, early 2010s. Okay. I think he's like probably like 39, 40, something like that.
Okay.
Not too bad. K-Wash calling me, not right now, bro. Shouts out K-Wash. Yeah. What else did I have there? That was Mitsubishi Drop. Then I had 808s and Heartbreak, Graduation. Then actually at 10 there's Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late.
Hey.
Fuck with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're putting that ahead of everything?
No, there's no order to this. This just happened to be in my.
It just happened to be.
It's hard to put like maybe a few of the top 5, like the Yes, like Fragile, Relayer, like Kanye, Yeezus.
Yeah.
I could see that. But then there's like some other albums on here I didn't really get to sort through to the top, but I really love a lot of Peter Gabriel solo shit like Scratch, Car, Melt, a lot of Todd Rundgren shit, like A Wizard of True Star, Something Anything. A lot of like classic 70s like pop, bubblegum pop kind of shit, fucking classic soul kind of stuff.
Okay.
Just like bringing that new with the old, that record store influence that I was talking about on the last episode.
Yeah.
But go ahead, man. Drop 10 yours. I'm curious, man.
Yeah. My list is. It's not really what I think are like the best albums ever. It's more like what albums mean the most to me.
Yeah.
Mine are actually kind of in order. Not like I don't know. These could change daily probably, but I have Death Grips, Money Store. I think that album is very important for me. It opened me up to the more experimental side of music.
That's some hardcore shit.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my first like experimental-ish albums.
Bro, I used to hate on Death Grip so hard. Like when I worked at Forever Young, shouts out Ed Swinski.
Shout out to Ed.
Our stalker, for our fucking product and shit. But he'd always ask me, like, jokingly, he'd be like, yo, you fucking with Death Grips? I was like, nah, man, I hate Death Grips.
Wow.
But like, I don't know why I did. I was just talking shit. I be doing that sometimes. Like, I just say I hate some shit without really listening to it.
Fair, you know.
I don't know. Maybe it just makes me feel cool or some shit. I don't know, man.
No, but that album is very important to me. Yeah, it definitely like started like an experimental side of me that just like I dove into and really got into stuff like that.
Interesting.
Got Kanye, Left Pablo. Probably my favorite Kanye album. I know, hot take, whatever. But
I mean, Kanye's Kanye, man. You know, I feel like he I think it's like a bag of chips.
Yeah.
If you pick the right flavor, you know what I'm saying? You're going to like every chip in that bag, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I like Pablo the most just because, like, when I was young, I loved Graduation. I love Late Registration. I love Dropout. I love 808s. All of them I love. But Pablo hit me at a very formative part of my years.
I will say, though, back on the chip statement, I feel like Jesus is King was like that one burnt chip you grab out the bag. You're like, God damn, man. Like,
no.
That's how I feel about it.
No.
But after your whole explanation about the shit, you know what I'm saying? I respect it.
Jesus is King is more like, it's not a burnt chip because that means you don't want to eat it. Jesus King
it's
is
definitely
more like
a burnt chip for me.
Jesus King is more like one of those flavors of chips that I don't get often. But when I do, I'm like, you know what? Underrated. I love this fucking chip, you know?
So you eat the burnt chips with the good chips in the bag.
Okay, I didn't say that. I said it was a flavor.
You just eating out the whole bag, bro. Burnt chips and all.
No.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like a salt and vinegar chip. It's like, I don't like salt and vinegar chips that much, but every once in a while I'll taste one. I'm like, all right, not too bad. Yeah, the pickle. It's like a pickle with a sandwich. It's the refreshing. It's like, and I don't know. I love how positive it is. There's like tracks on that. Water is like, I love water. I love water from Jesus King.
All right, that track is pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, shouts out to that damn Kanye West 2049 album.
Oh,
bro,
yeah,
YouTube, dude. That shit.
The like mega mix on YouTube where this guy just like chopped up a bunch of different Kanye. We've been put the fucking.
They mix
lately.
water with. What was it off of Ye? The Kanye poem. I miss Kanye, or what is it called?
I used to love Kanye.
That shit. They mixed that with the water instrumental, bro. I was
that was crazy.
Damn, dude. Shit fucked me up.
Next I have Frank Ocean Blonde. Another one of my formative album. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. I mean, I love that album.
This is a very artsy selection. I'm fucking with this.
Nah, I mean, it's pretty typical. I mean, it feels pretty typical. It's not like anything crazy or anything.
Nah, man, it's pretty artsy though, man. Because I'm thinking about all the different textures and shit of those bands and like what the fuck that sounds like.
Okay, fair, but like, I mean, people love these albums. It's not like anything crazy, but they mean a lot to me. I'm not trying to. It's not like I'm just being honest. Like these are the ones that for me. Like, but yeah, Blonde means it's. What I love about Blonde is, the first time I listened to it, I was like, all right, this is definitely not what I expected, especially after, like, listening to Channel Orange religiously for, like, what felt like 20 years until Blonde came out. Actually, I think Endless is just as good as Blonde.
That is a hot take. Actually. I share that hot take with you.
Endless is really good. It's just I haven't got a chance to listen to it as much, but every time I do, I'm just like, whew.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think the instrumentals on Endless slap a little harder, bro.
Yeah, I think Blonde is more vocal heavy. So Self Control is just like one of my favorite songs ever off Blonde. Like
Godspeed's my favorite.
Yeah. What is it?
Godspeed.
Godspeed is also amazing.
That's my favorite.
But Self Control, anytime that comes on, I'm just like, oh God, it takes me back to a lot of stuff. But next I have not Frank Ocean, Velvet Underground. They're self-titled. Speak about an album that also is up there with me on the meaning level.
I almost wore that shirt today.
Which one?
The Velvet Underground shirt, the banana.
Oh, the banana. That's not the banana one. It's
you like the one with the? Is it like the purple pinkish smoke or some shit on it? What is it?
No, it's just the black and white album cover.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the one with pale blue eyes on it, which is like one of my favorite songs ever. Next we got Fleet Foxes, Helplessness Blues.
That's a good one.
Love that album. Also, when I was like getting heavy into music, that was like one of the.
You know what? If I did have 100 albums, that probably would have made its part in there somewhere. I do fuck with Fleet Foxes,
dude.
I fuck with Fleet Foxes heavy, bro.
Like just how big that album sounds. Like it sounds like they're in a cave and it's just like pouring out of it. I don't even.
Crack Up goes so hard. I haven't heard the new Fleet Foxes yet, but
actually,
Crack Up.
I've listened to it, but I haven't like sat down and listened to it like I did the other one. So I need to actually do that. Because like they haven't missed for me yet. So
nah, you're right. They haven't missed for me either.
Next we got Childish Gambino, Because the Internet. I know a lot of people don't think this album's very good, but for me, it was very important to me in high school. Changed the way I thought about music. I think Earn off Because the Internet is like one of my favorite tracks ever. Like top 10 for sure. Like that, I want that to be played at my funeral type shit. Like I love
that was an interesting album when it came out though. Around the time that was something big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those ones. That Pablo Blanc, like those are just like front to back. If a song plays and then the next one doesn't play, it feels a little weird.
Very hip hop oriented.
Yeah,
for the most part, the whole.
Yeah, I think it's his. I mean, it's basically his last like full length hip hop project. I mean, Stone Mountain and Kauai came out after that, but that's not. It was more like a mixtape.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe that was that record store we went to the other day, the bootleg for Stone Mountain and
Shouts
Kauai.
out,
I really wish I would have got that, but
shouts out Final Lux Records.
Shout out Final Lux.
Shouts out.
Now next we got Outkast. Which one do you think I picked for the?
Aquemini.
Nah, AT Aliens.
Ah, damn, that was the second one I was gonna say. AT Aliens.
Yeah.
But
Elevators.
Great shit.
Yeah. Then we got Travis Scott, Rodeo. I still stand by that. That's like the most.
Yeah, that album's something else.
There's like not a miss on that one for me. No skips on that one for sure. I mean, all of these is like no skips, but.
Bro, that album's a masterpiece.
It really is. Like it really is.
It is, bro. It is.
Like
it is.
Like no one else was doing. It was like as artsy as trap could get at the time, I think.
Yeah.
Like it is incredible.
It's still I mean, like I agree when certain people say you can hear like a lot of the influences.
Yeah, he's definitely
in it.
Definitely like in his influences, but he's doing like enough of his own original stuff to where I don't even care about the influences at all.
It's kind of like the best part of it, though, I think.
Yeah.
It was hearing the influences in the midst of him creating this new sound that is more so his sound now. So
yeah, his like the beat switch ups, Oh My This Side, like that. No, Jesus. 90210.
Fucking
The opener, like all of them are just incredible. Young Thug, Barter 6.
Yeah, we're off of it.
Young Thug, Barter 6.
Young Thug, Barter 6, yeah.
Absolute classic. Absolute classic. I think it's one of the most important hip-hop albums of the 2010s for sure.
I thought you were about to say of all time. It's like...
No, well, I mean, for me it is, but no, I wouldn't say that overall if I was looking at it,
Yeah, maybe more, yeah.
But for me, it's like very formative. I mean,
for the era, though,
it definitely changed things.
Yeah, I consider us to still kind of be in the era that you put it in, but now we're like on.
I mean, Lil Baby's the highest selling artist of last year, so yeah, I'd say so.
Shit,
Next we got Vampire Weekend, self-titled.
I feel like has this been 10? I don't know why this feels like a lot longer than 10.
I'm just talking about them more, but I haven't even went through like 8 of them.
Oh
yeah. Oh, is it 10th one? Okay, cool.
Good count over there. I knew it, bro. My intuition was telling me.
Going through them a little quicker. We got Vampire Weekend, self-titled. Love that album.
That is a good album.
Full of hits,
dude.
Then we got Pixies, Doolittle. Perfect album, I think. Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. Come on.
Yeah.
Ferg, Trap Lord. I think one of the most influential albums of the 2010s. Also, incredible. That album's incredible. Slaps so hard.
You know what? Listening back to it, it don't slap that hard to me.
It doesn't hit honestly, as hard.
I think the 808 on Shaba is compressed as fuck. Actually, looking back in hindsight, that shit don't. Slap
but
like
when
that.
it came out, man, that stuff was hitting like nothing else. Like nothing else. Like
because people didn't know what hitting hard meant back then.
Yeah, but that's how music is. Evolves and whatnot.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but. Good album, for the most part,
Velvet Underground again with the banana one, with Nico. That album is Sunday morning. Is that song comes on, I'm gonna be happy. Waiting for the Man, also another amazing track. But no, this is Andrew Jackson Jihad, Knife Man.
Never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
First one I didn't know. I've never heard of that. Interesting. What is it, like folk or?
It's like punk folk.
punk folk
with like some pretty amazing lyrics. Like there's this one that always sticks with me. The Michael Jordan of drunk driving played his final game tonight, and it's like, oh
Okay,
my god, that is like that's
deep.
And then I'll just run through a bunch of fast ones. Dalit, Playboy, Dark Twisted Fantasy, In Utero, Modern Vampires of the City, Vampire Weekend, another amazing Vampire Weekend album I love so much. Yeah. Yeezus, Kids See Ghosts, Channel Orange, Acid Rap, To Pimp a Butterfly, Bastard, Tyler, that like kick-started my love of that stuff. And yeah,
I mean, these are all iconic fucking albums that you're naming. Everyone you're naming is literally taking me back to some kind of time capsule I was in.
Yeah.
Like, you took me back to 10th grade when you just said that shit. Mm-hmm. I remember listening to fucking Boppin' Bitch. But we're going to actually take a commercial break, guys, so we'll be back with you guys shortly hereafter.
Can't find a producer that fits you?
Come on!
We've got beats for that.
All right, guys. So we're back. We decided to bring our journalist, Basinger, onto this episode because he has some hot takes over there in the corner.
So I could just see him seething in the corner as I said Blonde was good. So what do you have to say for yourself right now?
I just have to say that I've listened to Blonde several times, and I know that this is a very unpopular minority opinion, but I think that Channel Orange is superior to Blonde, even though they have completely different tonal and artistic directions, and I respect the fact that people like how Blonde took things in a new direction, and it's bolder, and it's more artsy, definitely, more progressive, possibly. I just like the execution of Channel Orange's better, just because it's more laid back, it's more believably slacker, it's more believably college radio.
Fair. I definitely think that those are all true things.
That's very well articulated. See, I can't argue with you when you talk like this.
Yeah.
Dumb it down a bit. No.
I feel like, okay, so Channel Orange was one of my favorite albums at the time when Blonde was coming out. So I was like, there's no way that he can top that. Like, Pyramids, like, there's so many tracks on there.
Yeah, when I first heard it, I thought it was like a cool album. Yeah. I don't know, though. It didn't hit me that hard, though, I think, as everybody else did with Channel Orange.
It definitely hit me.
It was cool. Blonde, it was like, it took me some time. I was shitting on Blonde, too, for the longest. I was talking shit. Like, I remember my coworker, Rayla, she would always bring it up. She'd be like, yo, like, you like Blonde? I was like, no, it doesn't have enough drums in it. Fuck it. Like,
see, that's what I love about it is how minimal it is, but it feels so big. Like, it feels so big. And I thought it was good when I first heard it, and I thought it was good after that, too. But I think when it really set in for me how special it is when I listened to it and read along with the lyrics, like read along every track. And that it's literally modern poetry. Like, the way he writes in it is so poetic. It's not, and it's like modern too. Like, he's talking about stuff that is not like typical like poetry stuff, but it's like, it feels so modern in the way he's talking about everything, but it's so beautiful, like everything. The way he talks about cars in it like paints a picture of like he uses cars as like a time and place in his life, and that's how it feels very much to me. Is like that album is
like a time capsule or something.
Yeah, like it feels like he's just talking about his life.
Well,
hey, shouts out Capsule Corp, DBZ. Let me get that sponsorship.
Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Well, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I think what you're talking about with the talking about real stuff and getting into that sort of poetry stuff, I think that Blonde is also a product of post-emo rap culture a little bit.
Maybe.
He's talking more vulnerably about certain subjects, and hence the abandonment of many of the drums that bothered a lot of people helped it create a more brittle, sensitive atmosphere as well. Yeah. So I think that comes out of the just that culture of sad boy music.
Maybe a little bit.
Even look at the cover. I mean, look at the cover.
Look
at the cover. It's literally him doing this, like a sad boy.
Yeah, I get that.
No, I mean, that is true.
I get it. Yeah.
And I think maybe the reason I love it so much is because I was in that sad boy moment, and not like musically or anything, but I was just like feeling some type of way. So anytime I heard that, it was just like, it hit me so hard. Self-control. There was a certain point in my life where if that came on, it was just like, oh boy, here we go. Like, and also just the opening I love too, because people were waiting so long just to hear Frank again. Like, people were waiting so long. They were so excited.
Once again.
And then when you open it up, it has the pitched up vocals, and you're like, when I first heard it, I was like pissed because it's like, I've been waiting for so long. I want to hear Frank. But then it's like the pitched up vocal shit. But when I look back at it now, it's like that song wouldn't
You talking
be
about
the
the
same.
Nikes?
Yeah.
Nikes, yeah.
It wouldn't feel the same at all. And when his voice does come in, it's so.
I ain't gonna lie though. The live version of him singing that is actually pretty fucking good.
Oh, it's amazing.
My favorite track off of Blonde is the first one, actually.
That's fair.
Yeah. Mine is Godspeed, bro. It does it for me. That track sounds fucking epic as shit.
Yeah, Godspeed is.
No.
Yeah.
Like, that shit. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
You're on the next level.
Yeah, I don't know why Blonde hits me so hard the way it does. It just does. It
hits most people. I am aware that I have a very, like I said, unpopular minority opinion, but every time I put on Blonde, I feel like it's not that he's being disingenuous, because he's obviously singing about sensitive, vulnerable stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that combined with the atmosphere around him as a pop star, I feel that, like, I think the word I used was betrayed, just that atmosphere of him being the underachiever that I feel like permeates most hip-hop personas.
Yeah.
And I relate to that more than the artist. You know, even though I relate to Kanye West when he's talking about, like, rock stardom and all that sort of stuff in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think the fact that it's so overproduced and, you know, bombastic on top of it further solidifies that identity in the music. When I have these conflicting...
Interesting.
I feel like he's trying more hard on Channel Orange, though. It feels
I feel you on that.
Yeah, Blonde feels way more relaxed to me.
It's a lot more stripped back. It seems like he had more of an intention with Blonde.
It feels like...
That's what I'm pointing out. He's intending more, and that means it feels less genuine.
Maybe. I could
get that.
See where you're coming from.
I can get that.
Just the way the lyrics are, there's no way it's not genuine.
I understand. I don't think the lyrics were, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. I don't think anything in his body was like making Blonde like, all right, I'm gonna make a lie now. You know, like I'm not gonna be dishonest. I'm just saying musically, I feel like contrasting that with Channel Orange felt like he was trying to leave behind that persona when that was the persona I related to in the first place.
Fair. I don't think they're that different. I think really it's just lacking the drum. It's just way more minimal, which I'm into, like, minimal music. If you can, like, captivate me with a guitar and a voice, like, that is like the ultimate achievement, I feel like.
Have you listened to Vince Staples' Summertime '06?
Yes.
See, I think that is my favorite of, like, that kind of, like, it's mainstream, but it's also skeletal.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
And it's he
I
really
do like
capitalizes.
I do like 06. It's really good.
It like capitalizes on reverb. It capitalizes on making the most out of every sample and beat and bass choice.
Yeah.
But he maintains this dark gothic persona that I think Frank Blonde's Ocean, or not Frank Blonde. Jesus.
Frank Blonde Ocean.
Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's Blonde.
Yeah. Do you feel like any of the influences shine through Blonde? Like, do you know who he was influenced by for that? Like Young Lean, Brian Eno, any, like, do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it because traditionally, I think what people miss about Frank Ocean Blonde, even though I shouldn't be speaking on it since I'm not that big of a fan, is that is Frank Ocean's closest equivalent to art pop. You know, that was his equivalent of bridging soul music to a lot of the artsy sound textures of stuff like Bjork.
Yeah,
you know,
Bjork
and the way,
is fucking awesome.
And that's the way, and that's where I compare the post-rock influences too, with the samples of people like talking in interviews and stuff. Like it's a documentary. Mm-hmm. That's all postmodern, post-music.
Yeah,
you know, and that was his biggest statement in that area, which is cool. I think that's ambitious and interesting, but I feel like there has to be an element of just, I don't know, sincerity about where you come from, because he needs to show that his roots are fundamentally in that laid back.
See, because I feel like Blonde is what he wanted to make, but he felt like he had to make something like Channel Orange first. I feel like
Blonde is more laid back. Honestly.
Yeah, I feel like it's way more genuine, way more sincere. Because it's like, it's just him. Like, it's just him. I feel like Channel Orange he had to make Blonde. Same way, like,
I agree.
Kendrick had to make Good Kid, Mad City
before To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
I agree, but I keep trying to stress that it's not laid back as in vulnerable, not laid back as in chill, and it's not laid back as in, not being as aggressive. I mean, it's laid back as in he's full disclosure. I'm a person. I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
I relate to the person who walked up to a microphone and says, "I'm just like you," instead of "I'm better than you."
Sure.
What do you feel like?
I don't think that.
Where do you rank Blonde, like, its importance? Where do you feel like any of that influence of that album leaked into the music we have today?
On mainstream music, Blonde is profoundly influential because that's bound to happen when you pour money into exposing it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm more compelled by the underground stuff that did not have as much marketing, did not have Channel Orange's success behind it to back it up. Would have probably been equally as influential, but Frank Ocean gets more publicity because we've already known his name.
Well, I think it's also really ballsy of him to just make an album like that coming off such a, like pretty accessible album. Like, Channel Orange is, like... Yeah. Pop to its core. I mean, it's not like there are weird spots on it. It gets a little experimental, but like to come out with Blonde right after that. I mean, there was Endless in between, which I also think is just as good as Blonde. But
yeah, that's the hot take, bro.
Yeah, Endless is just as good as Blonde.
Bro. Like, for real.
And I think maybe you would like Endless more than Blonde, just because it does remind me a lot more of Channel Orange.
I think Endless is more experimental than Blonde.
Maybe.
I feel like Blonde was like the cleaner cut version of what he was doing with Endless.
Maybe.
I feel like he put more structure and like polish to Blonde.
Yeah. The live versions of the Blonde songs are interesting too, because there's just like added on parts to those songs that aren't on the album. Like the songs are way longer, and I've heard he has like 2 different versions of every song on Blonde too. Like,
is it similar to like live versions of 808 songs?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Because I liked listening to live versions of 808s and Heartbreak because. I don't know, you just hear more of that vulnerability on the stage.
Yeah.
So I imagine I get more of that too.
What's your thoughts on 808s and Heartbreaks?
I think it was similar because even though I didn't like 808s as much as College Dropout or Late Registration.
You're saying some crazy shit to me right now.
Yeah, I know. Even though I didn't like it as much as the other stuff, I see how ambitious it was in a change in direction. Because fundamentally, I identify with Kanye for his more pompous tracks, and when he removed that for the sake of emotional brittleness, I guess, I thought that it was good to polarize his audience, but I was actually one of the few people that was in the middle. I wasn't sure if I like it or not, and I still don't know if I like it or not.
Interesting.
Dude, flashing lights or street lights come on.
Bro, that whole album is amazing, dude.
I've been listening to street lights a lot.
Hooks pop up in my head all the time. I like every once in a while I'm walking as often as like
lockdown, coldest
as
winter,
Jesus Walks,
street lights,
as Jesus Walks beat or Hell of a Life comes to my head. Equally, I'll be walking around just thinking like it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like I get it, man. There's definitely some highlights on that. I'll put it up with Graduation and
that's my favorite
even
by
Yeezus.
Kanye. Yeah,
it's not bad at all. I'm just saying that like when I heard Late Registration, that was when I was just like,
see,
Late Registration is nice. I fuck with it. Don't get me wrong.
I think Late Registration is my least favorite Kanye album.
What?
I think I like Jesus is King more than Late Registration.
Oh fuck, man! Get the fuck out of here, Tom.
Yeah, I've listened
Terrence, make sure you put the hot take flames around this guy. That was the one.
Put a volcano somewhere.
It's the whole time,
here.
just hot flames the whole time.
This man.
I think he would even say that.
We're just
honestly.
burning each other down right now, man. What the fuck is going on?
You just made an enemy out of everyone in this room.
I'm okay with it because I think he would say that. I think Late Registration is his least favorite album.
Dude, Late Registration slaps, bro.
It's great,
bro. Crack music goes fucking hard, dude.
Gold Digger is one of his classic
He said that's
songs.
like his least favorite track.
Diamonds Are
Gold Digger's like his least favorite track.
Diamonds Are Forever, man.
I love that song. I never get him. Is it Diamonds Are Forever?
We Major, bro. We Major. That shit go hard.
I love.
Bro, he got Nas and Jay-Z on a track together, man.
I read one of my favorite lines. One of my.
Bro, that's like legendary, dude.
Yeah,
what are you
it's
talking
great.
about, bro?
I'm not saying it's not a great album.
You're talking crazy, man.
I still love
No,
it.
bro,
It's
I
still
know.
a 10. It's still a 10 to me.
Jesus is King, bro. Over Late
Yeah, I
Registration,
know.
bro. What
Jesus
the fuck are
is
you
King,
talking about?
Jesus is King means way more to me than Late Registration.
I'm just saying one of my favorite
Like, fucking
Kanye
Jesus
lines
is King is
from
like as
Gone.
close as getting a fucking posthumous Kanye album right now while he's alive.
No.
Yes.
No, I think that run
Well,
he went on.
So you're telling me when you jammed Late Registration and we got to Gone and you heard him say, you know, they say you never know what you got till it's gone. I know I got it. I don't know what y'all on. You're telling me when you heard that line and you didn't laugh? Are you telling me this?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. It's still a 10 to me. It's just, for me, I like Jesus is King more.
I can't believe you're saying
I would
shit,
rather
man.
listen to Jesus is King more. And maybe it's just where I've listened to Late Registration so much that it's like kind of just like.
Let me go ahead and just like, you know, kind of massage the room a little
cleanse
bit.
the palate a little bit, bro. Please.
I will meet him halfway a little bit on this. I will say that at least Follow God slaps.
Absolutely.
I like the intro.
On God slap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like the intro to Closed on Sunday. I think it's beautiful.
Water smooth.
And I admit that when I first heard about what direction he was going, like he was going to make Christian hip hop, like it's like in my opinion what's like basically propaganda music.
Yeah.
My expectations were super low.
Yeah.
But then I listened to it and I realized, wait, I don't hate this.
Yeah.
You know, I can like kind of beat to it. Like I can.
I think
That raised my
I have a theory
expectations.
that Jesus is King is like the antithesis of what Jesus is. So
Mhm.
And that's
Like,
what made
they
me
mirror-
appreciate it when
they
you said
mirror
that.
each
Yes.
other pretty similarly, honestly.
But it's still my least favorite.
Fair, and I think that's a fair opinion, and I don't blame anyone for saying that. For
I
me, it's
think-
not even like a quality thing. Like, yeah, Late Registration Pray is a more well put together album, but it doesn't mean as much to me as Jesus is King.
I think.
And that might just be recency bias, also.
Okay,
But
maybe. But I think I liked Jesus is King more than Ye.
I think Ye is top 4 for me.
Only recently did I start liking the first song on Ye, where he talks about like saying something out loud just to see how it feels.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best lines.
I
he's
describe
ever come up with.
Ye as it's like a journal entry. It feels like it feels like it just feels like a time and place in Kanye's career that album only could have came out. Like, it's not grand. Like, it doesn't have like the big like
I don't know, man.
cinematic stuff of the other albums.
I don't know if I put Jesus King over Ye either, because I feel like Ye and Kid See Ghost like connect with each other. Because Ghost Town Part 1's on
That's
Ye and Ghost Town Part
true.
2's on Kid See Ghost. I feel like those
That's
albums kind of
true.
go full circle.
Yeah, I mean, Kid See Ghost is like,
and that's
perfect.
like up there, bro. Like Kid See Ghost is like way up there.
Yeah.
Like
Fourth Dimension is one of my favorite Kanye tracks.
Yeah. And I get why people don't like Ye, but Ghost Town alone, it puts it above like a lot of other of his projects.
Like I said, I don't think he's ever made anything that's like bad.
Yeah.
You know? Like every single Kanye album, I've been like, I'm glad I consumed this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just like I'm not that glad I consumed Jesus King. But Tom explaining it with the Jesus thing, yeah, it made me like
you can't tell me you weren't feeling that.
No, like I appreciated it a lot more when you told me that.
I
It
think
made
the
me
problem
like
with Jesus is King is people wrote it off when they first heard it and then haven't went back and listened to it. And I think Jesus would have been the same way unless it didn't get the same, like it got hype afterwards because of how weird it is. But Jesus is King isn't that weird, so people aren't gonna be the same way about it. But I think it's equal. They're very similar. They're very similar albums. I think Jesus is very like self-righteous. It's very like me.
Yeah.
And Jesus King is not like that at all. I think it's the opposite of that.
They are. I mean, I get your whole theory with it. Like, that's what made me appreciate Jesus is King, because up to that point, I just didn't fuck with it at all until you showed me that. So, I mean, I appreciate it. It's there. It's still that bad chip to me, that burnt one. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
I do think that
like-
Blonde is better than Jesus is King.
Oh well, yeah, me too. Yeah, I think a lot of stuff's better than Jesus is King, but I still love Jesus is King. Like,
I agree, bro. Yeah, I think so too, dude. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah,
not so hot take. Not so hot take. Yeah, I'm fucking with that one. Yeah, bro. You at least know.
I'm
that.
just
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
get
honest.
that.
I don't think Kanye could put something out where I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna listen to this. Like,
I think if he keeps releasing after Jesus is King, I think we're gonna start to hear some pretty shitty Kanye albums.
Nah, for
my
me,
theory is he should go into executive producing.
Well, you
nah,
know,
I don't care what he does. Like, Kanye's one of those people where I purely look at him as a straight up artist, and he can do whatever he wants. I think he's earned that right to where even if it's not great, I don't care. Like, it's what his mind is making, so whatever. I think it's awesome. Like, I just want to hear anything from him.
To me, it's like anything he does now is continuing a legacy, which is already amazing.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just another chapter, regardless of if it's garbage.
Yeah.
People are gonna look at it.
And I really don't want like the big stuff from him anymore. Like, I don't want him to come out and like make something like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy again, because he's done that. Like, I want him to just make whatever he wants to make. Like, and I'm gonna like it probably just because he made it, and that is huge. Like, that is a big bias, and whatever.
It is.
I don't care. Like,
I think it's because you're a Gemini. Like,
maybe. I feel like I do just get it. Like, I just
that
and
Zodiac
maybe I don't
yeah.
like blonde because I'm a Scorpio.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah,
It's that
Maybe.
Scorpio energy, not being
man.
contrarian.
maybe.
You just got some negative emotions towards it, bro. You need to stop stinging shit. Yeah, bro. Fucking. Hey, don't fuck with me, bro. I'm a lion, bro. I will fucking eat you, you damn scorpion. I will feed you to my cubs.
I think you should go back and listen to Blonde again.
Yeah.
Well,
Please
you
listen to
just,
Blonde.
dude, I'm not gonna keep listening until it's like a Stockholm effect, where it's all like, I'll say if I'll like it, if it'll make me stop listening to it.
Because my buddy Silas, shout out to Silas.
Is this a hot take?
Well, no. When like the first year it came out, he would always talk shit about it, like constantly.
Okay.
And eventually, I was like, dude, just sit in a room alone with headphones and read the lyrics along to it. And now it's like one of his favorite albums. Like, it has to hit you at a certain time in your life too.
I'm open to that. I'm open to that because when I came up here, because I was telling him, telling Superb, I mean, that I watched you on Playboi Carti's Whole Lotta Red, and I did not really vibe with that album, but then when I was talking to Perb about it in the car, he put it on and he said, this sounds like a continuation of like this track from Die Lit. No. And he showed me the track, and then he showed me and reviewed all the tracks on Whole Lotta Red again, and it like totally changed my perspective. It's like, oh man, I gotta re-listen to this again.
Yeah, rip. Yeah,
the extension of R.I.P.
Yeah, and that's my favorite track off Die Lit too. So, like, the fact that he went in that direction, that was perfect for me. Like, yeah, that was exactly where I wanted him to go for that. Was like that, that stuff. Like,
it still has all those bits and pieces though of like that psychedelia you were saying, like from Die Lit. I think it's just kind of put in there a little bit more like strategically now.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a weird album, man. I can get how someone doesn't like Whole Lotta Red,
because Die Lit is probably my favorite trap album.
Really?
Ever. And like, it's weird that you brought up Travis Scott Rodeo as one of your favorite albums, because when I told you about like, hey, what's your favorite trap album earlier, you didn't say Travis Scott Rodeo. You said something else, like classic.
Oh, I said Ferg.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I said Ferg. But I mean, yeah, I guess if I really thought about it, Travis Scott's probably. I think his is the most ambitious trap album for sure. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
I think for where it was at that time of music. And like what he did, yeah, it definitely was something
so ambitious, different. Man. Especially like you have all this hype behind you. Like there was so much hype behind him. People wanted to hear what he had, and then he comes with like this weird psychedelic. Like it's not straightforward, really.
I thought Days Before Rodeo was ambitious.
Yeah, Days Before Rodeo is ambitious for sure.
Mamacita, Skyfall, like bro, like nobody was making tracks like that.
Yeah, not really. No, I mean I do love Days Before Rodeo. But he could have came out with something like Birds in a Trap first before Rodeo. Like Rodeo sounds like an album that you would come out with like your third or fourth, But for that to be like your debut album, like that's impressive to me. Like I know he had like mixtapes and stuff before that, but Rodeo is like his studio
that was
debut.
Like Al Pharaoh stuff with like Upper Echelon. Like
and I don't
remember that.
I feel like
though.
that's when he was drowning in his influences pretty bad.
Do you remember that whole like with the Upper Echelon shit? I think it was like VH1 or MTV. It was coming on around like 2010, 11. Like the story with him and Kanye, how they went to Taco Bell and they like vibed over that.
Nah.
Yeah, like it was just like some interesting shit. Like they were working on the track, I believe, a story, and then he was in there and Kanye pulls up. He's like, "Hey, bro, you want to get Taco Bell?"
That sounds like a dream that I would have for myself. Like that sounds like something I would like murder to have. Like Kanye just pulls up and he's like, "Hey, you want to go get Taco Bell?"
The moral of the story is, bro, you guys could be Kanye too, because he eats Taco Bell. Capitalism.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it full circle, you know?
And just think, even if you have a Jesus is King in your catalog, someone out there will think that it's better than some of your best material.
Late Registration is good. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just
bro, you were asleep, dude.
Bro, how old were you when that came out?
I wasn't very old, but
2005, 2006.
I'd say Graduation was when I first got heavy into Kanye,
That's
but I
my favorite
love
Kanye album.
Graduation.
Yeah.
that kind of blows me away. But
That's my favorite.
yeah.
Dude, that album is like what took Kanye to the next level.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, when I was younger, I'd heard All Falls Down.
But that's
When
like
we all
That's
fall
on college.
down.
Yeah, that's college.
I know,
dropout.
but I had heard that when I was young, and I loved it. I used to play that all the time. And then I didn't really know it was Kanye.
Graduation is like the album that gives us the Kanye we have today. Without
For
that,
sure.
there is no 808s.
For sure.
There's no fucking Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Life of Pablo, Yeezus, none of that.
For sure.
I
Like,
could have.
Graduation is when he started getting experimental with like those digital like fucking like sounds and
For
shit
sure.
for his samples. Everything else before that was soulful.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done without the T-Pain feature though.
Bro, that is like one of the best bro, get the fuck out of here, Colton. God damn it, dude.
No,
Hot take,
That's
man.
like that. That was like that's dated the worst out of that album though.
I do think Graduation
Oh, my
is his
Lord,
most
bro.
dated
This guy here
album.
is saying some crazy shit.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
would say Graduation is his most dated album, but
I think so, too.
I still love it. Like, Stronger means a lot to me for many reasons, but
Wow.
like Graduation is definitely like it. I do love it, but I think it is aged probably the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Late Registration. I think those two have aged the worst.
But
that doesn't mean they have aged badly because they haven't. They still sound way better than
Look, I know
anything
y'all
else
looking at
the
each other
time.
confused, but I'm looking at both of y'all confused because I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about.
With
you saying some crazy
Graduation?
shit. You said some crazy shit.
I mean, I don't know. Because here's the thing. I've met multiple people who've told me Graduation is their favorite album, but mainly because that's when they first started listening to Kanye at the time.
Nah, man.
I feel that. Yeah,
It's like a nostalgia thing, I think, for some people. But I mean, I still acknowledge that there's good parts in it. I like
it because of the significant importance of what he did with that. He brought that stadium fucking feel to rap music and shit. Those big anthems and shit like that, dude. Like, that's Kanye, bro. That fucking album, bro, has no 808s or none of that. Without that fucking album.
I mean, you're right. You're entirely correct. And I love all of them. All of them are 10s to me. They're all 10s. It's just some of them are 11s. Yeah. Some of them are 11s. And Graduation's not one of those for me.
I like that. Some of them are 11s.
Yeah. Like, Yeezus is an 11. Twisted Fantasy's 11. Pablo's a 12.
Yeah. Man.
Let's
I don't
move-
even know what
let's
the
move-
fuck this episode turned into.
Yeah,
dude.
let's move on to something.
I feel like I got like I came in here like happy and like I just started hearing all these crazy
All these
ass
things you
hot
can't
takes and shit,
unhear.
bro. Now I'm just mad, bro. Like
Yeah.
cut
Cool.
the episode, man. Cut
Actually,
the-
I
No, I'm
have
just
one more. I have one more thing
what
I wanna
is
talk
it?
about. I want to hear your opinion on Lord's Pure Heroin.
Oh,
Because it's in my top. I think it changed pop music.
interesting.
I think it didn't necessarily change pop music, but it definitely changed the direction for female pop stars.
Yeah, like it evolved.
Yeah,
female
because
pop.
for what's been plaguing pop stardom for females in the last few years is the boom of Lady Gaga.
I feel like everyone was trying to sound like Lady Gaga.
And because what started with her was the shock value of Marilyn Manson, but like glamorized, and that's where we got Miley Cyrus, who detuned, I guess, the glamour into degradation or whatever,
Okay,
like
fair.
being degenerate.
Yeah.
And now we have someone like Lorde, which eventually led into her counterpart Billie Eilish, which has changed electro pop and just pop music in general for female artists, because for once they're being treated as mature adults.
Yeah.
They're being treated as, I guess, just human beings with souls as opposed to bodies to, just sensationalize.
I think you can gauge where pop music is based on what bullshit Taylor Swift is releasing. So,
well, that's the thing. A lot of people like Taylor Swift
after
now.
that Pure Heroin album, Taylor Swift's album after.
Can
Pure
we get
Heroin.
something like that, man? Can we get like a fucking like Taylor Swift like bullshit meter that just like pops up on the screen like fucking like?
Dude,
okay, how Taylor Swift is this?
She
like,
sounded just like Lorde after that album. Like,
Yeah,
But
I
you,
mean,
don't you know
people
about
like
her
her
super
now.
friend posse
People-
though?
Yeah,
Like
people
Taylor
like
Swift?
her now.
Yeah.
People like her now because she made that album with Bon Iver, and it's just like, yeah, that's because it sounds like a Bon Iver album.
it's literally just
Yeah.
Bon Iver. Like, that's
Yeah.
all it is. But yeah, whatever.
I think that's interesting, man.
Yeah, don't get me
she do
started
be
on
jogging
Taylor
people's
Swift.
shit, man.
But
Yeah.
Lorde, no, for sure, she had progressed, I think, the respect for female pop stars, I think, for sure. Because Royals, when that came out,
sounded like nothing else on the radio. That's for sure.
it didn't sound like anything. I mean, because it sounds like something we've heard before, but different enough in the current context to where it felt like we hadn't heard it in years.
Exactly.
Because we've been
felt
hearing,
real.
because unlike Lady Gaga, we were like, wait, where's all the booming synth electronics?
Yeah, like,
thank
we're God that album came out, because I was getting so tired of the EDM drop, like that
Right.
stupid Taylor Swift song with that EDM drop, like
Which one?
Yeah.
Trouble?
yes, it is Trouble.
It's Trouble.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Trouble.
I hate that song so much, man.
I ain't gonna lie, I
it.
kind of do fuck with Trouble though.
It's so generic though. It's
It is.
so generic.
It is.
She's like
She's got like a few I fuck with. There's a few songs.
she's like
that you fuck with.
popstar.jpg. Like that's all she is.
Yeah, popstar.jpg. Yeah.
1989 was. I think that was the
Yeah,
one
Trouble
after.
was on
Pure-
that. You know, I remember Trouble because Drake
I think
was
that
doing
was
that
on
damn
Red.
that treadmill commercial with Drake.
Yeah.
He was listening to the shit. Then he like falls off. You remember that?
Yeah.
With the whole Trouble. Yeah, that's kind of like But I think we gonna cut this. You know what I'm saying? Our sponsor's telling us we're running out of time over here, guys. But I don't know what y'all want to call this episode. You know what I'm saying? This is fun. We're just kind of like having a bunch of like hot takes and shit.
Yeah. Just learning more about us. You know?
Yeah, we've been kicking each other under the table this whole time.
Yeah. I actually don't have a leg anymore. It just fell off.
Yeah. But this is like Colton, guys. You know what I'm saying? Colton Basinger.
I'm glad you guys had
Yeah.
me on here despite the fumes I have built up.
Yeah, I mean, as
Yeah.
soon as I started hearing you just talk all that
Yeah,
smack,
we had a whole thing written out for this episode and everything. Colton messed it up.
Yeah, it's
so.
his
I'm-
fault. His fault.
I'm a saboteur. I came over here and I decided, like, you know what? I decided there's a podcast I'm gonna sabotage today.
Okay, bro, Mr. Saboteur over here. Dude. All right, man. All right, y'all, man. We'll catch y'all later, man, on the next episode of MC2MC, man. It's your boy Superb, man.
OHTOM.
Colton.
Yeah, the saboteur.
Yeah, man. All right, guys. Peace, man.